Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jayzon, and I'm joined today by BM, fellow co-caster here. How you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited to see these two teams. Hope you're doing just as well as I am.
Yes, except I think I have forgotten once again that for some reason this program loves to reset my mic volume, so that should be a little bit less cringy on people's ears. I'll just make sure both of these teams are ready to go. We've got both teams in lobby. B-West division match, Knights of the Round versus First Pick Nova. And this is a pretty important match here in Week 6 for B-West. These are a couple of fringe teams that are down near that line to make in, especially First Pick Nova, who's still not out of range of falling out of the playoffs if Reborn Knights Red can pull off a miracle down the stretch here. So a very important game for First Pick Nova. And Knights of the Round, of course, always looking to get some extra points and move up the standings. But we've got both teams ready. We're going to be heading in to draft number 1, which is going to be on Dragonshire. Let's go. Game number 1. So what do you usually like to see on this map as far as pick and ban priorities here?
I mean, I'm a bad person to ask that because I love Gazlo on basically every map.
Well, there you go. Good camp clear,
especially
good point presence. Why not?
His good thing on this map is he could set up on the shrine and then go clear the wave, and then when they're getting the shrine, the wave pushes in, and then he can go back and set up on the shrine again. Once it's just a back and forth thing.
Yeah, it is one of those maps where you do see a lot of value out of some strong solo laners that don't really do much else in the game. One of the things I always think of is the Rexar, who can constantly have that rotation and presence on the point, even with the Misha, even while you're sitting there in lane as Rexar. But
soaking while you're getting on the point.
Exactly. But I expect from these teams that we'll see some stuff that's a little bit more standard. Probably not any First Pick Novas, ironically, today. But for now, ETC banned out first. And I would expect possibly the Garrosh ban on the other side, unless First Pick Nova have something specific that they want to deny from Knights of the Round here.
Yeah, I didn't really do much research into either of these teams. I know I have spoken to Brave Sir Robin in the past, and I was speaking with Diablo Band. I was speaking with Mongoose earlier today, and I kind of challenged them to actually First Pick Nova in one of their games, like before the end of the season.
Yeah, I think I read that thread. You know, where at least First Pick Gazlo GG AFK has First Pick Gazlo this season, and I believe that was on my stream, if I remember correctly. But it's happened.
Yeah.
You see the tank priority on both sides. ETC and Diablo banned out first. So Knights of the Round are going to make sure that they pick themselves up a Garrosh nice and early to get themselves a real monopoly on the strongest tanks in the game right now.
Yeah, is really all that's left, mostly for First Pick Nova, is Johanna, which only really works well if they have a lot of crowd control or if they have they have a lot of auto attackers, or Mirrodin, who really isn't that strong at the moment.
Yeah, definitely lower tier tanks for sure. I will say this much though, that the Johanna does contribute a bit to wave clear, which can be very nice on this map, but it's going to be the Stukov and the Greymane coming out. So we've seen a lot of Greymane priority for Knights of the Round, but First Pick Nova stealing that away here, and they're going to go ahead and take the Stukov and corner the market on healers until Deckard Cain comes into the picture. So Malfurion falling a little bit out of favor right now in competitive play from what I've seen. Still strong in general play, but Deckard has come on the scene, and he is now really that positional, sustained support that you like to see. Something like a Stukov and a Malf, but he also brings a lot of CC to the table.
Yeah, from what I've seen of him, he's really good, especially when he sticks with his team, which you should be doing as solo support.
Not only that, but Deckard loves to have friends in the area. He gets that extra armor from his trait when he's around another hero. So even if he's just hanging in the back around Chromie, makes him a little less susceptible to dive, say, from a Greymane. But also Chromie picked up here. So the side of Knights of the Round are going to be looking to pick fights early, fight in lane and over these shrine areas, using the Garrosh to try and displace people, and the Chromie for that big damage follow-up. Not to mention the Deckard route can be something that can easily be tossed into to get that 100% root chance with the Chromie follow-up damage.
Since they just banned Mount Theol, I'm thinking they're gonna pick some tanky type of comp coming up.
Now wait a minute. Greymane picked up for the side of first pick Nova. Malthael banned, Diablo banned.
Yeah. I'm thinking
Do I
Cho'Gall.
Smell a Cho'Gall? Exactly.
I was thinking the same thing.
Knights of the Round have not sniffed this out, or at least if they have sniffed it out, they're not worried about it. Now, Stukov not typically the healer that you see with Cho'Gall. Ariel is a dead giveaway. Lucio's played a lot. Alex Straza. But Stukov not well known, so we might be a little bit early on that predict, but it would have to be right here if they want it.
Yeah.
Not to mention
we'll find out in the next 40 seconds if we were right or not.
Right. Not only that, but Knights of the Round would still have 2 picks to possibly be able to look to counter it. And there are still a couple of counters on the table. Tychus, also the Leoric can be very strong against it.
If the Gaul is good, though, Leo isn't really a problem. It's more Tychus that I'd worry about, really.
Yeah.
Which they still do need another damage, so Tychus would be a good pickup for them.
Yeah, and ideally you'd like to get somebody that's good at finishing, so they are going to go with the Joe. And likely solo lane Thrall here, though first pick Nova, keeping it a little bit flexible still. They could still go with a solo laner in top and have Thrall in the 4-man. He kind of likes that 4-man now with Crash Lightning, but we'll see what Knights of the Round pick up and how first pick Nova responds with that last pick.
I really do like the Johanna because I think she's kind of a counter to Chromie in a lot of ways, especially if they go the rewind ult.
Yeah.
Because Johanna can just temporal loop Johanna. If Chromie decides to use it on Johanna just ults and traits out of it.
Yeah, and very hard to catch her in CC in general, so on the front line, Johanna very ideal against Garrosh. Doesn't really care about being tossed in all that much. Thrall also very good follow-up. This is kind of full dive style from first pick Nova. You'd like to have maybe a little bit more divey a tank than Johanna for that. But Phoenix is going to come out as the secondary damage. And the Insta-Medivh is going to be grabbed here as the answer from first pick Nova to counter that Garrosh and that blow-up potential from the Chromie.
Yeah, as if in this scenario, if Johanna is not the one who gets temporal looped by the Chromie, then Medivh can literally save anybody on their team from the Chromie.
Yeah, the portal and the Force of Will very strong for that. Sonya also picked up in the solo lane, so I think with the Medivh as the last pick, this is probably going to be Thrall versus Sonya in the solo lane up in top. But you got to be careful with the Medivh. He can quickly rotate in, and with the use of that portal can help the entire team quickly rotate in as well. So both of these teams pretty even in terms of standings and overall season performance, so I wouldn't give either one an edge. Do you like one draft more than the other here?
I like first pick Nova drafts a little better. I feel like as long as they can pull it off, they'll have a bit more of an advantage.
All right, well, we are loaded in here to game number 1. It is going to be on Dragonshire. On the left, we have Knights of the Round. Captain Brave Sir Robin is going to be on the Sonya. We've got Shaylin on the Chromie. That Mr. Matt going to be playing the Garrosh. Sam for the win is going to be on the Deckard. And Sir Lancelot is going to be on the Phoenix.
10 seconds.
On the side of First Pick Nova, we have Larson on the Thrall. We have Tech on the Greymane. We have Steel on the Stukov, and we have Mongoose on the Johanna, and we have Jet on the Medivh.
That burb flying overhead. Jet is giving them some good scouting to start off here. Now, Chromie, of course, does have the ability to get that vision talent at 1, so we'll constantly be able to see who is rotating around where without even being in the area, where Jet is going to have to be flying around overhead to really be able to scout. Can pick up a little bit of a vision talent at level 4, but mostly that's used for revealing the stealthies more than trying to scout, so wouldn't be surprised to see the portal talent. So right now, standard 4-1 rotations. Stukov getting caught out a little bit here, but it looks like both teams are going to be A-OK to start this off.
Johanna was in a bit of an issue, but yeah, Medivh was able to get her out.
Yeah, Mongoose not fearing too much on that Johanna, especially early before we really see the power spikes come in from Phoenix and from Chromie with that constant stacking. But 11 stacks already here in the first minute of the game for Shaylin, so stacking up that talent, wanting to get to 60 to get that that secondary Q from the copy.
Additionally, she just won Bronze Talons, which is pretty, I think that's standard Chromie build, but I mean, that'll help with damage and stuff if she gets caught out in the middle of the fight.
Yeah, that's typically the talent that you see followed up when the Chromies are going to go towards that vision talent at 1 and getting the percentage. The only real variation, sometimes you'll see them go for the sand build to try and get the extra area and the extra damage on the circle. I'm forgetting the name of that ability right now, but either way, we do have instantly both of these being capped here by First Pick Nova, dominating in the top lane in the solo. Brave Sir Robin is going to look to recap it up on top, and the members of Knights of the Round do have a couple of members here in mid. Tech gets tossed, but is going to be able to portal on out with the help of Jet. For right now, things returning pretty much being in favor of First Pick Nova on both sides of the map here.
Brave Saraman just almost went down, which would have put a huge hamper on Knights of the Round's ability to capture shrines and stay in this game and in this early game.
Yeah, still struggling a little bit with the Thrall. A lot of the early game solo lane power has been taken away from Johanna with that rework, losing that self-sustained talent at level 4. So now seeing just a little bit less damage and a little bit less support ability as well. Self-sustained. But right now, the members of Knights of the Round stalling out the Dragon Knight, picking up bot every once in a while, and staying in mid, but neither team really prioritizing the camps just yet. Kind of a surprise. We got the camps available here.
Barely made it out of there. They had like 50 health left.
Dragon does end up getting capped here in the bot lane, so the constant loss there in the top, and Jet going in deep, getting the Chromie out of the portal. Big portal plays coming in from Jet early here. 23 stacks right now on Master's Touch. 23 on the Chromie, though, on the other end. So both of them making some decent progress. However, it's only 40 to get the Medivh stacked up. So definitely ahead in terms of at least how close they are to the finish line on those quests. What's up, Nem Avenger? That's right, we are live. We are covering another B West match. Surprise, surprise. Right now, the toss in, but the nice Iron Skin by Mongoose to get away. Dragon Knight gonna rotate back up to the mid, but Sonya ends up falling in the top lane. Another over-the-wall play by Jet. And gosh darn it, wouldn't you know it, I missed it. But
I saw it. He was in the bush, like that little curvy bush right there, and he portaled all the way to the fort area behind the walls. And Sonya was at about like 100 health, and he just hit her with the God, I can never remember ability names.
Yeah, Shaylin definitely getting all the damage there onto the Greymane. It's actually that Mr. Matt and that Groundbreaker poison damage that ends up finishing the kill, but it'll be a nice pick going over to Knights of the Round. But right now, first pick Nova in the driver's seat here, wanting to earn themselves some points here in the last couple of weeks to try and distance themselves a bit here from Knights of the Round. So couple level lead here, and they are playing for keeps tonight. Camps are being grabbed here by both teams. Knights of the Round already picking up their siege camp in the bot, looking to push in a little bit. Looking at the invade, but it is scouted out by Tech up in the skies there. And is grabbed safely by first pick Nova, who's almost level 10 here as we head in towards the mid game. Hostel taking a lot of chunk damage there from the Chromie. Meanwhile, in the top lane, back and forth they go. Larson, once again, getting a nice HP advantage. Brave Sir Robin doing what he can, but especially with the level lead at this point, Larson definitely has a lot more potential to get those kills.
I think the main issue is that in this situation, Brave Sir Robin went Poison Spear instead of taking the HP talent. That would have helped him out a lot in these 1v1s.
Yeah, gonna get a little extra damage, but Thrall does have quite a bit of sustainability up in this top lane. Meanwhile, about a half level until we see the 10s come in for Knights of the Round. Pretty standard heroics, kind of what you would expect. Estelle is going to go with a massive shove to try and zone away the Garrosh.
Phoenix almost just went down because Johanna managed to interrupt his teleport in the mid lane.
Once again, Jet is here looking to pick this up. Brave Sir Robin rotating in, but the spear not in time to be able to get the interrupt. And the second Dragon Knight of the game going over to first pick Nova. It's going to give them a nice advantage in structures, and they also have a lot going on in the bot lane. They're going to find themselves a pick onto the Chromie. Massive shove going to push Sir Lancelot away and give him a little bit of breathing room to operate, but the Dragon Knight is being uncontested here in the mid, taking down the fort.
That was a nice unstoppable use.
Mr. Matt dodging that kick from the Dragon. Very impressive. I don't think Deckard has the same kind of blockability though to that one.
Yeah.
So we are going to see the Dragon Knight taking down the mid fort, rotating down here to try and put some extra pressure. Once again, the massive shove coming out, push Garrosh away. So that's a pretty nice. Both heroics are pretty decent counters to the Garrosh in terms of being able to create some distance there. Abilities coming down, just barely being dodged by Jet as he goes into Raven form. The overlap there of the heroics from that Mr. Matt and Sam on the Deckard. Meanwhile, jump in there. The temporal loop should get Tech back away, but we do actually see the members being able to make it out for the moment. So close, Knights of the Round, almost just losing a ton of members. But they all make it out safe and sound for now. And just like that,
Brave Robin having a lot of trouble in the top lane still.
Yep, still struggling up here in the solo.
I like this. I'm blanking on words now. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Invade.
The camp invade, yeah.
Yeah, the invade. That was good since they're up a talent too.
Yeah, right now they can just kind of rotate around, paint the map red, and make sure that they're really getting something out of this lead, because it's not really a good opportunity for them to get any sort of force, especially until those heroics come back up. But they are stealing the camps. They are getting some nice XP in the other lanes. Larson's got to be careful here. Shaylin has rotated up, and it looks like they might be gunning for this Thrall. The spear comes out, the temporal loop, the damage, and the combo coming out. Brave Sir Robin popping the Wrath as they look for this pick, and the Q is good to finish off And but Garrosh falling in the bot, and Sam for the win, actually going ahead and popping the stay a while and listen to just try and zone them back a little bit. So 1-for-1 exchange, but we do have the shrines now activating. So the question here is, what exactly can First Pick Nova do? And they are pushing in hard bot with this camp.
Looks like Sonya's gonna try and get top camp.
Yeah,
which I really don't know if that doesn't seem like it's the right thing to do in this situation.
Yeah, I think that it's not too bad. They definitely want to be soaking lanes, but until they had the 13 just now, they really didn't want to pick a fight with First Pick Nova. So I do like the call to play passive, to get camps and get what advantages you can. But at the same time, it is going to be a little bit of a window here where they want to try to force. And it looks like they're starting to search around to see if they can find where First Pick Nova is. But meanwhile, First Pick Nova playing is very smart. They know that the 16 talent tier is just around the corner. They're not going to give away a fight for free. But nice of the round, rotating around, getting the map objective prepped. And if they get anybody in mid here, they could end up looking to try and steal the Dragon Knight. We're going to force First Pick Nova to rotate here, but the 16s are now in. Rotation here from First Pick Nova, as they are looking to maybe try and force the issue now that they have the 16. Massive shove coming out onto that Mr. Matt. Going to give him a little bit of breathing room as they defend the mid. Thrall is retaking top, so for now that'll alleviate the Dragon Knight pressure.
Ooh, that was a nice leyline seal.
3-man leyline coming out. Phoenix ends up falling. Deckard falling as well. And Brave Sir Robin is in a bad spot here. 3 for nothing. First Pick Nova capitalizing on a very nice leyline seal there from Jet. And now they should be able to rotate to the bot, grab the bottom shrine, and be able to get themselves another Dragon Knight here. Now, Phantom Puppy's got the right idea. First Pick Nova, but no Nova. Yeah, it's a little bit of a troll, but that's okay. We're going to see the Dragon Knight capped here. By the way, both quests have been completed. So, you have the copy of the Q coming out here from Chromie, and the constant tick damage coming in as well from Jet, as he's now got the increased cooldown reduction whenever he hits on that Q. So, bottom fort is in all kinds of pressure. We do have Sir Lancelot getting interrupted there. Sonya ends up the first falling. They're trying to zone away with these ults a little bit. The temporal loop comes out, but not finding the mark. Bottom keep goes down. Dragon Knight is falling pretty low here, so I don't know that First Pick Nova is going to be able to really stay. They do still have the 16 talent here, but wisely they're going to go ahead and back away. They've gotten the keep. Now they can look to get advantage elsewhere on the map.
Blue team's core is taking damage.
Knights of the Round does essentially clear up the bot pretty quickly. They've got top pushing as well. But what would you like to see First Pick Nova do here in terms of trying to push before the level 16 comes in?
Well, they need to defend right now since I think, well, 16. Ooh, that's Phoenix. I don't know why
leyline seal action. That Mr. Matt getting very low. He's going to go down. And just like that, First Pick Nova forcing the issue here in bot while Sonya was away. They may be looking to go core here. Do you think they can end this?
Yeah, with those 2 kills, they definitely could.
Sam does throw out the stay a while and listen, but the shields are falling. 90% on the core. All 5 members still alive. Larson somehow able to dodge the circle there from Shaylin. And that is going to be it. The core falls, and game number 1 goes to first pick Nova.
As I said, I did like the draft a bit more. I felt like they could do more with it on this particular map. And it's as long as they knew how to play their heroes, which they obviously knew how to play them well, especially with that Medivh like diving in with his portals and killing people when they didn't expect it.
4 kills on Jet, and it's hard not to give him the MVP here for game number 1. Do you think there's anybody else that you would consider for that MVP slot here?
I would say Chromie, but she kind of disappointed me by going temporal loop. I feel like it would have been better. Like, it would have helped out her team a bit more, knowing that they had so many counters to temporal loop if she had gone the other ult.
Yeah, I don't mind it personally because you're trying to punish the lack of cleanse. But at the end of the day, I think they were just too far behind. Not quite enough coordination on trying to get the damage and the follow-up out. Also, no real follow-up CC other than maybe Garrosh Groundbreaker. But to really be able to keep them in place afterwards in case Chromie's not enough damage. But
well, I do count Medivh as a damage cleanse, kind of. Like, he uses it on Chromie. That's why I was saying that, because they had Johanna and they had Medivh, both of which could help. Well, Johanna can get herself out, and Medivh can get anybody else on the team out.
All right, so we're going to be going into game number 2, Battlefield of Eternity. And how do you feel about this match? Or how do you feel about this map, I should say?
I love this map personally. It's a good Gazlo map because Robo Gobo is fantastic on this map.
Is that just kind of your scale? Like, depending on how well you could do the Gazlo on it is how much you like it?
Well, my mains are Gazlo and the Vikings, so yeah.
All right. So we've got a bona fide Garden of Terror lover in here then.
I'm not a big fan of Garden of Terror, but close enough.
All right, fair enough. I mean, I thought that all TLV mains loved that map.
It's too hard for it to go out of control for if your team is bad, which is often the case in QM.
All right, well there you go.
Because you don't get Garden of Terror in ranked anymore, I don't think.
No, you definitely do not. All right, well we are setting up lobby number 2 for you guys. We're gonna get the teams in here real quick. Off to the races. So any particular heroes, maybe other than Gazlo, that you really like on this map?
My team personally likes Hanzo real well on this map because he has such good immortal race. When we can't get him, we usually go Vala just because this is her only good map and we do have a Vala player.
Yeah, definitely a very Vala-friendly map, especially in a meta that isn't itself very Vala-friendly. So yeah, this is really pretty much one of the only maps that we see her get still some decent value with that Q build.
The Hanzo's usually our top choice on first priority.
Right.
100%.
Right, and in a world where Hanzo is available.
Yeah.
Why would you want to get the Vala over it is definitely.
If we're not first pick though, we usually ban Hanzo and just take Vala because nobody cares about Vala anymore.
So
if...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if I was a Knights of the Round, I would ban Hanzo. And if my team was in place of Knights of the Round, we would probably ban Hanzo, pick Vala because we were picked 2. If that makes sense. If I was in first pick Nova's position, though, we would ban something else and pick Hanzo and hope they don't ban Hanzo and then pick Hanzo.
Right. So I'll tell you what, though, if you like TLV and you like Gazlo, and I think pretty much all you need is to like Abathur, and then you're one of Phantom Puppy's favorite streamers / players.
Yeah, my most played 4 are Gazlo, TLV, Sonya, and Murky.
Well, there you go. I think the Murky counts. Phantom Puppy, always ever the troll in the stream, wanting me to play ridiculous heroes. I think he'd like you. Gotta go give BM a follow, man. Alright. Looks like we got everybody in the lobby. Let me just make sure these teams are ready to go. Captain Mongoose says ready. Rafes or Robin. Let's make sure that these guys are ready to go.
Ooh, Jet is so close to level 800. That's kind of funny in my opinion.
So close. 799 and 796 on Estelle.
Oh, so that's how it's pronounced?
That's how I guess Osteel is probably more correct. But that's your team to introduce. I'll let you take care of that.
Let me butcher the names.
Yeah. I'll butcher the guys on the left. You butcher the guys on the right. That's how this works. All right. Both of our teams are ready to go. So let's head on in for game number 2. Draft going to be starting here. Battlefield of Eternity. First pick, first man. Going to be going over to first pick Nova, as this was the map of choice for Knights of the Round. And we'll see if tank priority ends up being the top here, or if teams will start to look a little bit more towards the map meta of getting yourself a monopoly on the people with the highest amount of damage on the Immortals.
Honestly, though, like the solo lane is also super important on this map because if you lose the solo lane, it's likely that the Immortals will get even better push, or counter push from from whoever wins the Immortal.
Right. All right, so the Diablo ban is the choice once again to kick this one off, and
it's making me wonder if Knights of the Round have a good Diablo player that I don't. I mean, Diablo is good in every situation, but it just makes you wonder about what they're so afraid of from Diablo from this team.
Yes, I mean, if it was Team Showboat and it was Axel Foley at the top of the division, then I'd understand the Insta Diablo ban. But I think this is just a division. I think we all hate Diablo. And I know for Divine 9, for my team, we first banned Diablo quite a lot. Just very difficult to deal with. And on this map in particular, there are quite a lot of little pieces of terrain throughout the mid that kind of forces you into those choke areas. And meanwhile, Knights of the Round banning out Greymane, not wanting to see Boo taken away once again.
That was Tech in the chat says they figured out I'm a one trick. It's the story of my life.
Yeah, there you go. If Gazlo gets banned out, you're just in trouble. But Garrosh going to be the pickup. But this time, it's first picked by first... Oh, wait. Was it first pick Nova? No, it was... I thought it was Knights of the Round.
Yeah, last game it was Knights of the Round, the first pick.
Yeah. So first pick Nova, first picking it this time, and steal away. And speaking of steal away, this time Knights of the Round are going to steal away the Stukov.
Death is beyond your reach.
Didn't first pick Nova ban Malthael last game?
I do believe that it was that was kind of what triggered us to think maybe they might have been going Cho'Gall. So yeah, Malthael picked up here. So Knights of the Round wanting to get this one on the board early before that second ban phase comes out. So maybe a little bit responsive to that Malthael respect ban earlier in the series. And good immortal damage with that percentage-based damage, but it does come in slow. Main thing I like about Malthael here is that he's a good counter to Garrosh. He can do a lot of chunk damage to Garrosh with the percentage-based damage, and with that last rites has the ability to get through the toughest part of killing Garrosh, which is that last 33% when he's got all that armor stacked up.
Yeah, because at that point he would have what, like, trying to do the math real quick, at least 30% armor.
Yeah, it'd be a little over 30, which is just rough. But Jaina and Thrall coming out, so huge amount of CC, not only from the roots here, but also the Jaina blow-up potential. So right now, first pick Nova going really hard with the pick comp.
So far, as long as Knights of the Round takes something that can burn the Immortal well, I'm expecting Knights of the, based on what first pick Nova has now, I'm expecting Knights of the Round to be able to win the first Immortal, but after that one, I'm pretty sure that they're just going to try, like, the strat that looks like they're going to have is that first pick Nova is going to stall it out and try to get kills and stack up the death timers, because I don't think they'll be able to race.
Yeah, Jaina is not terrible on the race. Her problem is that she doesn't have, her cooldowns are a little bit too long to make her a truly excellent racer. Post 7, she does have the cooldown reduction, at least on the Q, that she could start stacking up those Qs to constantly poke at it, but the rest of the cooldowns are just always too long. But yeah, mentioned here by Ostiel, the Medivh band, the Respect band coming out. And we won't see another appearance by the Medivh expert from first pick Nova this time around.
Yeah, the Medivh player definitely knew what they were doing, so I think that's a pretty good ban on Knights of the Round's part.
TK Starstorm in the chat says, thinking Probius would be a good pickup here. Yeah, of course you do, Siege, because you always think Probius is a good pick, you Probius main. But we are going to see ETC coming out here as the ban from first pick Nova. They've already taken out Diablo. They've gotten Garrosh. So they're going to take the next best tank off the board with that tank chokehold and take away ETC.
I'm wondering what tank they're going to take. Or if they're just going to take 2 bruises, because that is a possibility. But I don't think that would happen in Div B. I hope not, anyways.
Yeah, this is a world where I think we could definitely see an Artanis come out here from Knights of the Round. They have shown a little bit of favor towards that hero, and it's pretty good on this map with the level 1 talent, the amateur opponent. Get a little bit of extra race damage out. Could probably the bruiser pick, though. You would still expect a full tank. Could maybe be that Johanna that we saw from last game over on first pick Nova, or a Nubarak coming out along with the Li Ming. So this is pretty standard combo of heroes. A Nubarak is a good counter to Li Ming, and Li Ming is a good counter to a Nubarak. So when you have them together, then you really cover all your bases. Because of course, all those little beetles can get in the way of Li Ming's abilities. Li Ming having the Disintegrate to counter Anubarak's favorite heroic, the Cocoon. So having them together can be a pretty strong force.
Cheers, love! The cavalry's here!
And the Tracer coming out here.
If this Tracer knows what she's doing, she's going to be a pain in the behind for Malthael.
Well, there you go. Akuma coming in with the raiding party. Welcome, everybody, from Akuma's stream. I'm sure you're just finishing up with the match. Let me know how it went, buddy. I didn't see what you were casting over there. We do have Lucio coming out as well, so this is a very scary comp from first pick Nova. Not only do you have the accelerated Garrosh to worry about, to constantly coming at you with the potential throw and the groundbreaker follow-up, but also Jaina, who has basically no mobility at all without the help of Lucio. Now going to be able to close the gap much easier, to be able to get back to some of these squishier heroes. So the side of Knights of the Round are going to go with the Genji to try and disrupt some of this backline pressure and the squishy The squishy backline really passed Garrosh here. Trying to get those picks. And the double resets also coming out here for Knights of the Round.
Once again, I gotta say I'm a bigger fan of First Pick Nova's draft. I definitely prefer the two squishy assassins to 3 squishy assassins, because Thrall really isn't squishy at all. If they manage to
he's
get
only really
even-
squishy when you have a lot of CC on him. When he's attacking, he's got a lot of self-sustain and a lot of self-healing. But if you're able to lock him down, it can be a little bit difficult. But that is not really what we're seeing too much from Knights of the Round. They have some CC with the Anubarak, but
not much.
Yeah.
Well, Stukov too if he goes the right build, but yeah.
All right, so we are loaded up here for game number 2 on Battlefield of Eternity. On the left, it is going to be Knights of the Round. We're going to have Sam for the win on the Stukov. That Mr. Matt playing the Anubarak. Learnerman Laws is going to be on the Genji. Sir Lancelot on the Li Ming. And Brave Sir Robin going to be on the Malthael.
On the side of First Pick Nova, we have Jet on the Thrall. We have Tech on the Jaina, Mongoose on the Garrosh, Larson on the I can't even see. Tracer? Yeah, Tracer, and Astiel on the Lucio.
Lucio a little bit behind, but has now come in. Both teams going to go ahead and stick to the standard 4-1 rotations. Malthael versus Thrall up in this top lane, which you would think is something that would definitely favor the Thrall, but you never really know up here until you see it. Lucio getting poked down low already. Wave clear advantage going over to the side of Knights of the Round in the early part here. You would think that Jaina would tip that in the scales of First Pick Nova.
Yeah, I think it's mostly because she was kind of flanking at the beginning and wasn't really attacking the minions just to get a feel for the enemy team and what they were doing. I noticed her hiding in the bush on the left side.
It's going to be interesting to see how much Sir Lancelot and Lurderman can really get to this back line for the pressure. We do see the Swift Strike in onto the Tracer, so Larson going to get down to about half health there. But for right now, keeping the pressure on.
Graves Robin is losing top lane again. This must be really frustrating for him.
Yeah, Jet once again having, I think, a favorable matchup up there. But at the end of the day, especially on this map, the solo lane really is just all about the XP and not so much about pushing the lane or dominating the opponent. As long as he's able to stay up there and get the XP, that is really all that matters. Because you don't really get that much damage anymore out of the minions, because the cannons don't run out of ammo anymore. So it's really difficult to really get any advantage out of that.
Wasn't it Jet on the Medivh last game?
Yes.
It was who was playing Thrall last game? Now I can't remember.
You know, I don't remember. I forget who was playing the solo lane for First Pick Nova last game.
I'm just glad to see that the teams like these know how to switch it up. Like,
yeah, it must have been Larson, because it wasn't Mongoose
yeah,
or
it was
Astel.
Larson. That's right.
Would have had to have been Larson. But yeah, having flexible players is definitely
right now.
Really strong. Ooh, Lurder gets taken out here by Astel of all things. Brave Sir Robin also stepping out too far. So once again, the members of First Pick Nova playing the rotation game. Both teams going to have camps pushing into the lane, but slight advantage to First Pick Nova, who has their Shaman camp pushing in the top, which will give a lot greater siege. And Sir Lancelot being sent up here to try and clear this up. Not the right hero to clear up a Shaman camp where constantly spawning those dogs that are going to get in the way of Leeming's ability to clear it. But either way, we do have 50% already taken by First Pick Nova onto the Immortal. So big advantage here for First Pick Nova in this first phase. Sir Lancelot does finish up with getting that cast. Mongoose tossing that Mr. Matt out there. But a big 4-man stun coming in with the burrow charge. Estelle getting so low but lives. Backing the members out there with the speed. Knights of the Round do successfully defend, but no resets grabbed for either of their reset heroes.
And they're already coming back in because they were able to get healed up from Lucio and the Fountain.
Oh, and Larson with the very nice juke there. Somehow makes it out off of that rewind with 5 health. And Genji, once again, ends up being the one paying. But right now, First Pick Nova juking and jiving their way to an almost full shield Immortal to start this match off.
This is actually the opposite of how I was expecting to go down. As I was expecting First Pick Nova to lose the early game but win the late game. So, I mean, they could still obviously win the late game if they keep snowballing this, but I was not expecting this early lead from them.
Yeah, I think I might have liked to have seen a little bit harder counter to the Tracer, but I think the Tracer was one of the last picks, so it can be kind of difficult to flex at that point in the draft. But either way, Mongoose does find the toss there onto Lurda, the Groundbreaker also to slow his retreat. Brave Sir Robin has come down here from the solo as they try to get some picks, but that Mr. Matt not finding anything on the burrow charge, but Tracer gets taken down as Sam able to get that silence down. Another kill also grabbed here by Lurder over the wall. And so right now, Knights of the Round fighting back, showing signs of life. They'll get to clear up the Immortal. They do save their top fort, and just like that, they are back in this one.
Yet we have not seen the end.
Yeah, that was good play about that Genji. For a moment I wasn't sure. I thought he was going to stay around too long and try and get extra kills, but he got it out at the right time because he knew he couldn't get them in time.
And while Jet staying in a little bit long here, damage does come out, and they're going to find the pick here on the solo in the top lane. So Knights of the Round starting to rotate around, get a little bit squirrely here. We have seen throughout the season a tendency for Knights of the Round to play a little bit stronger in one game than the other. A little bit of that Jekyll and Hyde kind of mentality. So this may be the back half of that exchange, but we'll have to see. For Lancelot throwing a combo in, finding some damage onto Mongoose. Both teams pretty even here. A little bit of an XP lead for Knights of the Round, but nothing you'd write home about. First Pick Nova going to grab themselves a camp and look to push in the bot lane.
I think that's smart. They could get huge. They could get their XP. Like they can get XP. They could get even an XP again from getting that bot tower. So that would definitely help them. But that's obviously not going to work out the way they were hoping it would.
Yeah, the 4-4 in the bot ends up going the way of Knights of the Round with that superior wave clear potential. Now we are going to see both teams rotating out to grab their shaman camps and time these up. So we'll have to see how the teams want to respond. Who's going to look to defend, who's going to look to rotate out and clear and get 10. Definite XP advantage massively now in the way of Knights of the Round. Still about half a level until First Pick Nova has those 10s. So I'd really like to see Knights of the Round be aggressive here with this level 10 and look to try and get this to halftime or try and force a fight. But what they can't afford to do is play passive. They are going to choose to go onto the Immortal. Meanwhile, First Pick Nova rotating out to lanes, looking to get some XP soak to get that 10. They're going to get the bottom fort, which, as you said, is going to be that step in the right direction to get to the level 10s. But the full dive potential coming in here for Knights of the Round. They're going to find themselves a Lucio. Mongoose getting cocooned and is still going to be caught out here. Still in danger of falling. The toss is not going to be enough to get him out. It's going to be 2 picks going over to the side of First Pick, or Knights of the Round, I should say. First pick Nova rotating up a couple members to try and get some damage onto this Immortal, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be enough. This race is so heavily in favor of Knights of the Round from the first half, and that's going to be an Immortal going over to Knights of the Round.
That's probably going to get up the XP advantage even more, honestly.
Yeah, Shaman Camp was never cleared out in top lane, so first pick Nova going to get the front wall, the well, and a little bit of damage on the top fort. But that's okay. The Brave Sir Robin will be able to clean that up and continue soaking here in the top. Meanwhile, 5-man commitment by first pick Nova as they're looking to clear this out as quickly as possible onto this bottom Immortal. And we are going to see a lot of damage coming down. The shields are down. The Immortal will hit the ground running as it starts to chomp in towards this bottom fort. 4-man commitment is here, but a lot of the damage and reset potential, as we do see the Swift Strike in, but not quite finding the mark from Lurder, and now Larsen's the one on the chase. Pulse Bomb comes out, but it's just barely not enough damage. Jet trying to get the over-the-wall
50.
Thunder for the kill, but does not find it. The Cocoon comes out. Tech will be taken out of that Cocoon quickly there by Larsen. That Mr. Matt in trouble has to burrow charge out. Meanwhile, on the bottom,
Larsen.
Tech trying to force Lurder out. Larsen getting so low here as he goes after Sam for the win. Has to be careful. Anubarak ends up falling. Sound Barrier is popped to really enable Larsen to try and go in.
Ooh,
but Sam gets tossed over the wall. And that is going to be another pick. 2 for nothing going over to first pick Nova as they are looking to try and take this one back. And now they're looking to get themselves some front wall keep damage. Brave Sir Robin grabbing the camp in the top lane.
He's been doing good push up there.
Yeah, got a little bit of damage there on the fort, but really, I think the big thing for Knights of the Round is in that 4v5, they did lose 2 members, but they got a lot of soak in the top lane from not having the Malthael there. Meanwhile, Jet has run up to the top lane here to respond to this push. And I like how he's out in lane, tanking all of this damage so that the structures don't have to. We'll see both teams kind of stacking up as 5 now. Level 13 advantage is still here for Knights of the Round, but it won't be too long before first pick Nova is able to grab that and even it out. Mongoose getting hit by this Cocoon. Silence comes down, and all the burst damage along with the last rites. I don't think they had to burn the last rites there, but they do find the kill. They'll steal the camp and get the advantage going into the Immortal phase.
Parties are fun when you're doing them and not so fun when you run into them.
The bush parties, and I was never invited. Feels bad. We are going to see Knights of the Round instantly picking up the first half of the Immortal here. They're going to get to halftime. Garrosh is back alive. What would you like to see first pick Nova do here in response to how this has gone so far in the first half?
Well, they can't outrace, so they're going to need to get fixed at this point, which I'm not sure they can do.
Yeah, it's a rough position. They can try to take a fight under the Immortal, but I think Knights of the Round might be too smart for that. They are going to rotate back. They're going to grab the camp and get their Shaman camp pushing in bot as they look to just try to prevent the poke from first pick Nova coming in onto the Immortal. All heroics are up on both sides, though, as both these teams look to poke back and forth, trying to find anybody out of place, but both teams positioning pretty solidly right now. Neither team playing particularly risky, but as this goes on longer and longer, it's going to favor the side of Knights of the Round as that Shaman camp will take down the bottom fort if it's given the possibility.
Grayson and Thrall getting pretty low.
Members of Knights of the Round winning the poke war, but it's a Nubarak that's the first to fall. Jet falling though to Lurder, and the resets are going to be coming in hot here. Larsen getting very, very low, gonna have to back out. Mongoose low. does have all the armor and a steel able to speed them out, but that's going to afford Knights of the Round the opportunity to get some immortal damage. So we are going to see the immortal spawning in the top lane. Camp's going to be cleared up in the bot lane. There is still a wave coming towards it, but it looks like right now first pick Nova is going to rotate up and look to try and defend on the fort, or on the keep, I should say. Unfortunately, the fort falls, and that's enough for Knights of the Round to pick up the 16. Very scary moment here for first pick Nova, as their keep is in all kinds of danger here.
I think Jaina needs to back up, honestly. Oh, wait, no, this isn't. For some reason, I got my maps confused. I was thinking this was the John Cena map.
The Immortal
like,
not
should
going
not
to jump
be
over
taking.
the wall today. Maybe in a future patch, but for right now, we do see,
Ned, okay.
we do see the web wrap coming out, instantly blown up there by Larson, and we're going to see the all kinds of damage coming down onto the keep. It is going to end up falling here. And first pick Nova's got to be careful. A few picks here, and this game is going to be over. Lurder dives in, and the Tracer gets killed on the rewind. Mongoose getting very low. The Immortal does lose its shields, but it is coming in onto the core, chunking down the shields. Jet is going to get hit and killed there with the last rites. The resets come in. Mongoose low, Tech low, comes out to try to get the taunt, but it's too little too late. And that is going to be it. First win of the series. 1-1 tie here. Knights of the Round winning game number 2 and forcing the draw.
I think both teams played good in there, played very well during their respective wins. I was not expecting that. That went the exact opposite from what I was expecting during game 2.
Yeah. Very interesting game. Jet doing a very nice job up in that solo lane. Really, first pick Nova dominating the solo lane in both games. We saw some pretty good early play from the Tracer, but kind of lost a little bit of its advantage as the game went along and the focus came down. So I would like to go ahead and pull in a member of Knights of the Round here to see if I can get an interview. Why don't we go ahead and hop up to lobby 1 in Discord, and we'll see if we can catch somebody for an interview.
All right.
You got your questions ready? You know what you're going to ask him?
Nope.
Yeah, me either. I just totally wing it in interviews. I'm terrible at them, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Me again.
And it is going to be Brave Sir Robin once again. 2 nights in a row, sir. Welcome back. How you doing after that win? Well, I guess after that draw, you got 1 win.
Got 1 win. Little bummed about the first game, but we kind of got our stuff together and we're able to kind of come back, you know?
Yeah,
I think you guys played very well the second game.
Thank you. Idaho, I've missed you.
Old buddies reunited. So
Old pals.
Brave Sir Robin hates me because I annihilated him with Vikings during the free agent combine.
That's true.
Nice.
I got absolutely crushed by a Lost Vikings who knew too well how to play Lost Vikings. So,
it's always
that was
on shrines, right? That's the play.
Yeah.
Right.
That Shrines match was really tough. That Jet was doing a really good job on Medivh. In fact, after that game, we were hopping on hot slogs like, wait, how much does this guy actually play Medivh? Because our studies didn't show that he played a lot of them. So we were like, what is going on here? But turns out he just does a lot of scrims with them, and he is a very talented Medivh. So we actually have mutual friends, Jet and I.
Well, there you go. Jet breaking it out, showing it for us in what was really one of the most important matches of the season for first pick Nova, as they really needed at least some points to try and give him that breathing room from
Sure.
Reborn Knights Red in the playoff picture here. So
I noticed you were having a lot of trouble in the solo lane against Thrall. Is that a matchup you play often, either of those, like anytime against Thrall, or is Thrall just hard to beat in the solo lane?
So my problem in game 1 was picking a hero that I wasn't confident with. I typically don't play Sonya, but made the decision to do so because I thought it would be the right pick. So I was focused more on what pick I should do rather than what I'm actually comfortable playing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was one of the reasons why I lost against Thrall in the first game. Second game was a little bit more even. We kind of went back and forth a bit, but yeah, I'm not really used to playing a lot of against a lot of Thralls, and certainly that showed in game 1 when I picked up a hero that I probably shouldn't have been playing in an NGS game.
Yeah, even
That's
against
fair.
2 different players, but the same hero from first
It
pick.
confused
Nova.
us in the cast for a minute.
It's like,
Oh,
wait a
I
minute.
didn't even recognize that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jet
Jet-
played Medivh in the first game and Thrall in the second game, and Larson played Thrall in the first game.
Got it.
And then there's
Okay.
Tracer. Yep.
Yeah, I should have noticed that, but I didn't. It's funny because they actually build the same, so I kind of figured that it was going to be. I thought it was the same guy.
We did too for a bit, and then I realized Jet was on the Medivh because we made a comment about him flying overhead like a jet.
I like it. I like the puns. No,
So-
that was a fun matchup. Certainly a team that I'd like to scrim against more.
Yeah, I've said the same thing about first pick Nova quite a lot. Mongoose, team captain, very knowledgeable. But I did have one question for you, particularly about the drafting. First pick Nova deciding that they just did not want to play against that Mr. Matt's Diablo. Is that something that is warranted, or do you think they're just being a little bit more like they don't want to play against it? What do you think of those bans?
So, for me, I think the Diablo ban was more of a Diablo's very strong right now ban. Matt is good at Diablo, but I don't feel like that's Matt's strongest tank. So I'm a little bit surprised that I would be surprised that was the reason why they banned Diablo. But it certainly could be the case that they banned Diablo because they feared Mr. Matt's Diablo. But I think it is because Diablo is very powerful right now, and next week that will change. But
a good
yeah,
tank
Matt,
player. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say Matt is a talented tank, but we typically put him on things like Garrosh and Johanna, and not necessarily Diablo.
I was gonna say a good tank player on a really good tank is a scary sight to behold,
Mm-hmm.
especially on the Lord of Terror.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. Roll 1. That guy's got a scary Garrosh. Jason knows all too well.
Yeah, about that.
Only
I
because you
actually
casted
haven't
my
been-
game yesterday.
I haven't been keeping up with much of
Well,
the divs.
He also broke it out in game 2 when we played against it. So yeah, I remember. all the way back to week 2 or 3. But anyway,
Mhm.
so looking ahead to next week, we would be remiss if we didn't look at this big matchup that you guys got against Obscured. So this puts you guys with one match left at, I believe, 13 points? Or did your game from last night get counted?
I'm not sure. Hold on, let me take a look at it real quick.
Now I have to look because now I'm
It could.
curious.
It says on the schedule
I
screen.
believe that last night's game has not counted yet. So we are at 12 points. Well, I guess 13 points now, right, with the tie today.
Right. Okay. So yes. So you got one more game left against Obscured. Obscured has one game left, and they are sitting at 15 points. So if you guys win, you pass Obscured. You get 6th seed. If you guys tie or lose, then you guys are looking at 7th seed. So how do you guys feel against Obscured? Have you guys checked out their matches at all? And what are you looking forward to in that matchup?
They're a little bit obscure to us. So
Walked right into that one.
Yeah, you did.
Puns are great.
we hear that the leader of the unicorn is on their team. But I don't know. We haven't done much research on Obscured. We do have that Mr. Matt, our tank, is also a very talented tactician when it comes to pulling up stats and what people have been playing and creating spreadsheets. And so I'll be looking forward to what information he pulls on Obscured when we get a little bit closer to the match, so we can game plan a bit. But I don't know. We typically go against. I mean, our mentality going into any match is that this is just another match. And so, I mean, whether it's against the number 1 seed or, Obscured being on around the same level as us at this time, we're not necessarily scared or overconfident in our matches against any team. We don't want to over or underestimate our opponents.
Well, that's good. My team personally has an issue with that we need to work on. But I'm glad to see other teams being very respectful of their opponents. That I've once heard the saying, you must have the utmost respect and disrespect for your opponents at the same time. You have to expect the best from them, but also think that you're better than them, so you have confidence at the same time,
Well, yeah, you don't want to psych yourself out, but you also don't want to underestimate people. And I think that I've fallen victim to both of those, where I've gone against people that I thought I was going to stomp and, got completely wrecked, and vice versa. So,
by the way, I hadn't really noticed this until now, but looking at the standings, winning that last game clinches your guys' spot in the playoffs. So, congratulations. You guys are definitely going to be in now, because First Pick Nova cannot pass you anymore. Reborn Knights Red could potentially pass you for that spot if you guys lose to Obscured and they win against Systematic, Skyark, and us next week on Divine 9. They could pass you with 3 dominations. But otherwise, so you guys have at least 7th.
So they have to beat you to get 7th?
In order to pass you guys in the standings, they'd have to win both their matches this week, which are viable against some of the lower tier teams that they're playing against, and then us, also next week. So we don't have to worry about it then.
Haha.
Nice. You see what I did there, Jason?
I see what you did. They could still pass First Pick Nova, though. First Pick Nova done now on the season, have played all 11 games, sitting at 8th place with 10 points. If Reborn Knights Red gets both of their dominations this week, they end up with 11, and that will be just enough to tie First Pick Nova I have 11 points on the season. And then I don't know. I actually don't know what they're... See, now I'm getting into playoff scenarios in the middle of stream. I don't know if this is the right move, but...
whatever. We're talking. We're already talking. So is it top? It's top 8 that goes on to playoffs, correct?
Yeah,
yes.
It is definitely top 8. So now... Okay, so I'm looking for First Pick Nova versus Reborn Knights Red. That is the question. Who won that game? Or was it a draw? Too many games to have to go through.
I was actually
Reborn
just
Knights
having
Red beat them. Okay, so yeah, then they would win the tiebreaker and they would go in over First Pick Nova. Interesting.
I was just having the same conversation with my captain earlier, because he was like, not throwing is going to make it to the playoffs and we're going to have to play them again. And I was like, no, not throwing's in 10th place or 12th place or whatever.
Cool.
I had to explain to him that we only the top 8 teams got to playoffs in Div D or in any Div.
Right.
Yeah, so anyway... That is the playoff scenarios. You guys are in, but I think we've taken up enough of your time tonight, Brave Sir Robin. But before we let you go, we do want to give you the floor to do some shout-outs. So what do you got for us tonight?
Oh, man. So first off, shout-out to my mom. Hi, Mom.
Is she watching? Is she really watching?
No. She would...
It's okay. It'll be up on YouTube. You can give her a link later.
No. She's definitely not watching. Then I'd be getting a phone call. Why aren't you like your brother? Anyways, so other shout outs. Again, like I said, I got a shout out to my team. I am far and away the worst player on my team. So I have to thank the other guys that are playing with us for basically carrying me around, especially this season. And it's been really fun to again see all of us coming together. We've never played together. Most of us haven't had NGS experience, and so their mentality, their positivity, and their ability to try to be introspective as well as work with one another has been pretty amazing over the last couple months. So big shout out to them.
All right. Well, thanks for coming by tonight. Congratulations on the draw and earning the playoff spot. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week in a big matchup against Obscured.
Yeah, and Jason, I'm looking for when we're gonna scrim next. So get yourself together. Let's do it.
Hey, Sunday, Monday nights, bring it on, man. Let's do this.
All right, brother. Thank you guys so much. Medaho, sorry. Thank you very much as well.
I hope you guys continue to play well, and I hope you make it at least somewhat through the playoffs.
Wow. Thank you.
Who knows? Maybe
I hope we make it all the way through the playoffs, Medaho. Come on.
Look, I can't say that.
I know
can't
Jason's
be biased.
listening. I know Jason's listening.
I can't be biased, okay? I'm a mom
Hey,
now.
maybe we'll play in the first round. We're right up near the top of them standings right now. Who knows? It could,
No bias here, I swear. I just want everybody to make it somewhat through the playoffs.
Well, at least half the teams are not. Never mind. I'm not going to go there. Anyway, thanks, Bravester Robin. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Later. All right. Well, that is going to do it for us tonight, guys. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us late into the night with our nightcap cast here for NGS. BM, thanks for joining me tonight. Where can people find you? I know you said you don't have Twitter, but there's got to be somewhere they can go and see your content. Tell us all about it.
I mean, I'm in the Discord like 24/7 basically.
There you go.
I have been streaming. I've been beginning to start streaming on my own time, Hero League and stuff. I'm only silver, but twitch.tv/bmedaho. If you don't know how to spell my username, look at the screen up. I don't know.
The screen is definitely it's right over there. I'm terrible at pointing on camera, but it's right down over there.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, yeah, if you need to find me, just twitch.tv/bmedaho or bmedaho. I think it's 4178 on Discord. So yeah.
All right. Well, and that is going to do it for us tonight, guys. I don't think there are any more matches going on right now, so I am just going to go ahead and sign off and let the auto hosting take us to wherever the auto hosting is going to take us. But thanks again for coming out for the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jason. You got BM over here tonight joining us, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night.